Good evening. I'm at Walmart. Yeah, you can see behind me. All right. So, okay, yes. You know, when it snows, you can't make bread anymore, right? Because, I don't know, everything that's used to make bread just vanishes every time there's snow on the ground. That's what people think. That we just need to buy up all the bread. Oh, yeah. Except for the bread that nobody wants. Like, nobody buys that bread. Be honest with me. You don't go for that bread. Nobody does. So that's what you have left over. The ones that nobody wants. Oh, I wanted to have something. Nope, all you get is sourdough. Whoever says, that sounds good. That's why it's still there and it looks moldy. All right, nobody wants that. And you go down here, ancient grains. That's probably how long that's been on there. Since ancient times, nobody wants that. That's why that's there. And whole wheat that looks like tree bark, nobody eats that. That's why that's there. Oh, cracked wheat, that looks like a crackhead wheat right there. Looks like crack on top of that. That's why that's there. Oh, nobody says, I want some seeded Italian bread. That's why that's left there. Oh, and keto, that went out in like, what, 2000? Who cares what right now? That's why these are all up there. Nobody cares about keto. And oat nut. How do you get oat nut? What is oat nut bread? Just the same as oat milk? Nobody cares. That's why it's still there. And look at this thing. That is crazy bread. That says hearty grains and seeds. I'm not a bird. I don't need a bunch of seeds. What am I going to do with that? A New York style, and you got all this other crap. Oh, of course you got rye. Because nobody goes and says, you know what sounds good? I need some rye bread. So this will be here when the apocalypse happens. There'll be leftover rye bread. Because nobody cares about rye bread. Gluten-free? Alright, I'm not going to hate on that. Some people can't deal with the gluten, but we got that here. Of course, overstocked, you know. And you got your bagels, so, hey, you got some, you know. I'm not a big bread eater, but you want raising the roof? You got that? Look at that. Dave's Killer Bread. Organic, even. Yeah, you know why that's still there? Because it's $6.42. Haha. Okay, Dave. What's in that bread? Are there mushrooms in that bread? That's why that bread's still there. I'm just saying, panic buying and leaving everything that nobody wants behind, and you're hoarded up in your little shanty or whatever, and you're just sitting there wringing your hands watching the news. How many inches we getting? How many inches we getting? Remember, people, it's water. It's water. It's just floating down from the sky. It's been happening since the earth has been the earth, you know. Long before you're alive and me, and long after, all right? We'll be okay. You hoarders make it difficult, you know. It gets the supply chain all jacked up. There's a push, you know. They don't overstock. As soon as something's bought, that's when they you know. So you just pull a whole bunch at once, and then they're all out of whack, and you make everybody wring their hands. You hoarders, be better. Hope you smile today.